In part one, you learned about the 4% rule. You could spend 4% of your nest egg every year. That because of that 4% rule, you're going to need to be a millionaire in order to live a comfortable retirement, in order to maintain the lifestyle you've become accustomed to during your working years. And you learn that you're going to have to save 15% of your gross pay per year to be assured that you have a nest egg so that you can withdraw 4% a year and live comfortably. You also learned, and this is probably the most important lesson out of the whole darn class, is about the power of compounding. Albert Einstein, you've heard of that dude, right? With the funny hairdo? Yeah, he called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. And he was kind of a smart guy. So next parts, I'm going to go into and tell you about some programs that are designed to help you save for your retirement. Then we're going to get a step more specific, accounts you're going to use to invest in. And then lastly, what specifically to invest in. This will continue on these topics. We're not going to do them all today. They'll continue on to tomorrow. So programs to help you save. As companies started getting rid of their pension plans, companies decided we need to help employees save for their own retirement. We need to replace those pension plans, and the government stepped in to say we need to help encourage individuals to save for their own retirement. So there's a few programs that have come to be. The first two are traditional IRA. IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account, and the second one is a Roth IRA, Roth Individual Retirement Account, not Irish Republican Army. Joe's probably the only one who would have thought that. These programs are set up by the government to give you a tax advantage so that it encourages you to save. Traditional IRA, first off, on the money you put in, you're going to get a tax deduction. You can put up to $6,000 per year in, and you're going to get a tax break on that money you put in. When the money's in the account, you get tax deferred growth, which means as the money grows over time, you do not pay taxes on the interest, the capital gains, the dividends. It grows without any tax ramifications at all. And then when you get to retirement and you have this $2 million nest egg and you start pulling out money each year to live off of, then that money is going to be treated as income and you'll pay taxes on it. So with a traditional IRA, you get a tax break on the money you put in. You do not get a tax break when you pull the money out. Roth is the same thing, only different. You contribute after-tax dollars. So you are not getting a tax break on the money that you contribute to your account. This is coming out of your net pay. You can contribute $6,000 per year. You get the tax-deferred growth. Your interest, dividends, capital gains are not being taxed as it grows. And here's the big difference. When you get to retirement and pull this money out, it will be tax-free. No taxes whatsoever. So with a traditional IRA, you get a tax break on what you put in, but not when you pull the money out of your account. Roth is the other way around. You don't get a tax break on what you put in, but you do get a tax break on all the money you pull out. So which one do you want? If you're a 23-year-old fresh college grad making $45,000, $65,000 a year, which one do you want? Let me show you a numbers scenario to answer that question. Let's say you're putting $5,000 a year into your retirement account and you're earning an 8% return. You do this for 10 years. After 10 years, you'll have $72,400 in your account. Out of that money, $50,000 is what you put in. 10 years times 5,000, 50,000. 22,000 of it is the return, the growth. So most of the money in the account after 10 years is your money, not from growth. As you move through the years, that proportion starts to change dramatically. And then you get the power of compounding interest where your interest is earning interest. And by the time you get to year 40, You have $1.3 million in your account, again, saving $5,000 a year and earning 8% interest. You have $1.3 million in your account. Out of that $1.3 million, $200,000 is your money. 40 years at $5,000 a year, that's $200,000. Over $1 million, $1.1 million about, is from the growth. This chart shows those numbers. This is after you've saved for 10 years, 15, 20, 25, 30, so on. The blue portion represents the money that you've contributed to your account. Excuse me. The red is the growth. So after 10 years, the $50,000 is what you had contributed, and you had about $22,000 worth of growth. Over time, as you invest, the growth, the power of compounding, becomes a much larger share. So with a traditional style account, you get a tax break on the money that you put in. That's this blue part. With a Roth, you don't get a tax break on the money you put in, but you do get a tax break on what you pull out, which includes all of this growth. So if you're just saving for 10 or 15 years, you know, what you put in is greater than what you're going to withdraw. So you probably want the tax break up front. But as time goes on and growth becomes much more important, if you look at this bar here, would you rather have a tax break on this amount of money or this amount of money? Yeah, hands down. When you're investing for the long term, the Roth IRA is the way to go because it's going to give you the largest tax break. I'm going to wrap this one up, go to another video.